Mm-hmm.
It sounds very similar to what you're describing. Tell me about your book. Tell me, because I know it has something to do with the story of Jacob, which I see behind you. I think Jacob's wrestling with the angel there, and
That's right. Very good. Well, Jacob was a three. Jacob was unquestionably a three. I don't want to say like you, but there's resonance.
I mean, he was kind of a jerk, right? He's a big time
He was
jerk.
a jerk. It's so interesting. He was a jerk. He was a thief. He stole his brother's blessing. He manipulated his employer, Laban, and yet, as people have pointed out, we root for him. And then once he wrestles with the angel, he's not a jerk anymore. The blessing of the angel is that his new name is now Israel, and Israel meaning he who wrestles with the divine. And once he can, well, there's a book length story here that will hopefully come out soon. But one explanation is that his story changes from a linear story that's like a sign. It has a literal meaning, to a symbolic story where he lives in both worlds, where he lives in the larger life world, and where he lives in the mundane world, and he translates one for the other. And that's an initiation. And then you would really have trouble talking about him as a three then, because he's really transcended that level of analysis. He's operating on his own imagination. He's there for others in a way that a fixated three might not be. And so that story is a story of how you let go of the fixation. It's by entering a larger life. You're not just your personality story, but you're able to expand to a world beyond yourself.
I find that so moving, to this idea that this total grade A asshole has a encounter with the divine. Somehow the divine finds him worthy enough to wrestle with, in this visionary sense, whether it's metaphorical or right. But there's some clear transcendence of reality that took place there for him, and he got out of, through that vision and through that encounter, he got out of his rigid life that was killing him and probably killing others that he was having contact with. And it transformed him, and it somehow energized this process of expanding.
That's right.
That's so much more.
Exactly it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a rich story. So your book is about that, and what else? If anything else that?
Yeah. It's basically, I retell two stories: the Jacob story, and also the Medusa story from Greek mythology. And what happens in Medusa, if the Jacob story is about how we get rid of our Enneagram number, get rid of the fixation by expanding, the Medusa story is about how we get in a fixation and we get stuck with one god. Medusa pissed off Athena, and Athena froze her. She froze her face, so she froze the way she was looking. She could only look one way, and Athena gave Medusa the evil eye so that she would judge people, and also if she looked at people, they would turn to stone. Well, this is what happens when you do too much Enneagram or any similar thing, which is that you put people in boxes and categorize them, and effectively you turn them to stone, because there's so much more to the person, but you fixed them in a certain way. And the way that Medusa gets out of it, ultimately, Perseus comes and he brings the tools of many gods. He brings Zeus's sword and Hades' helmet, which makes Perseus invisible, and he has the Teleria, which are Hermes' famous winged shoes, so that he can travel at the speed of thought, and Athena's shield, of course. And so, by bringing the perspectives of many gods, many angles, it gets Medusa out of her frozen state. And that's the solution with the Enneagram.